Ray Ray and Rock Royal, they had their own tour bus with just their bodyguard and like a manager or whatever. Meanwhile, Princeton and Prodigy were sharing a tour bus with the dancers, the crew, like everybody, and I was just like, that's disrespectful. And in all those Wattpad stories here, we were thinking that it was just the four of them inside of their own tour bus. What's up, you guys? It's Aaliyah, Bree here with Her Campus, and how are you guys doing today? Basically, today we are going to be talking about the Mindless Behavior exclusive interview with Ray Ray. I don't know if it was popping up on you guys' recommendation, but about 2 weeks ago, Ray Ray did a interview with someone, and he was kind of letting us know about some of the backstories and what's going on with Mindless Behavior. Are we ever going to get a reunion? Why did they break up? What was the final stages of Mindless Behavior that we didn't get to see? And he went ahead and went in detail. Now, I was reading through the comments, and a lot of people were saying, this man who is interviewing Ray Ray don't know how to interview. I don't want to watch this. And so I just watched part one. I took a couple notes. I got 2 pages of notes here, and I thought, why not share with you guys so you guys can just find out basically what was said within 10 minutes rather than the whole 20 minutes. Or maybe this will be an 8-minute long video. Who knows? But without further ado, let's get into this. First of all, just to give you a little rundown of what happened, Ray Ray was holding a swallow of juice for the whole interview. I mean, we all just wanted him to just drink it. He reminded me of that girl who went to McDonald's before she came to school, and by 3:30 she still had her orange juice cup or her Frappuccino from Starbucks. Ma'am, drink it. Don't hold on to it. It's okay. We know. We've seen it. We've seen it like at 10 a.m. By 3 p.m. it's okay. Let it go. Let it go. But then some people do just drink slow. So I don't want to judge nobody. First of all, he lets us know that he no longer wants to go by Ray Ray, but he preferred we call him Rayon, which is his name. And you know me, I'm still stuck in Ray Ray, but I said, sir, if you want to be called Rayon, we can call you Rayon. We can do that. He lets us know a little bit about how it got started. We had Keisha Gamble, which if you read those Wattpad stories, then you know who she is, because she was always up in all of them. People always wrote about her, but I guess she formed B2K, so she said, hey, why not do it again? Tried to give us a B2K with Mindless Behavior, which was kind of successful. Yeah, because they was fine. Yeah, they was fine, so... I definitely think one of the most surprising things that he said was in the beginning years, even though they were going to BET Awards and staying and, you know, going to 5-star restaurants, they actually had something of like a new edition experience where they went out and they were like on tour performing at concerts and going to 5-star restaurants, but they came back to a home in Compton, kind of in the ghetto, like, well, if you ask me, the ghetto's everywhere, but you know what I mean when I say in the ghetto. And they were just kind of like, well, this doesn't make sense. I mean, in the beginning, they were just very happy to have that experience, and they didn't too much care that they were going back there, because they were like, hey, we Mindless Behavior. I'm Ray Ray. I'm Princeton. I'm who I am. You know what I'm trying to say? But it did get to a point where they were kind of like, wait, I'm no longer naive to the situation. Why am I still sharing a room with 4 other people in my band? Yes, they shared one bedroom for about 2 to 3 years. They shared. That's crazy. And then he went ahead and got into why the group broke up. Girl, you gotta stop saying anyways, he went into why the group broke up, and he said he mainly left the group simply because he had a near-death experience, and within that moment he was just like, whoa, if I would have died right now, I wouldn't have done everything that I knew I wanted to do and what I would have done. And I have to say, Mindless Behavior is what's holding me back, so I gotta not hold me back, but it's not allowing me to get to where I need to go. So he went ahead and he left. Then we have Prodigy, and he did feel like Prodigy leaving wasn't anything to do with an ego. He was always known as the mysterious, quiet one who just didn't talk much, but he goes into detail and really reminds us that Prodigy was not from the West Coast. He's from Philly. And when he came out here by himself. His family was still in Philly, and he was just out here with all these strangers. And you have to remember, Mindless Behavior started when they were like 12, 13 years old. So can you imagine being ripped away from your family and going living with new people? You know, who look at you less as an individual but more as a group. But even though you looked at as a group, we do have to acknowledge the fact that he was pretty much leading everything. He pretty much was the one singing out all the songs, so I can only imagine that meant more and more work for him, more and more pressure for him. However, during this little experience when he was talking about his other group mates and what happened with Rock Royal and what happened with Princeton, he called Princeton that other kid. So I said, oh, there's beef. No, not between, no. But hey, I said, you know what? That's none of my business. Y'all got beef, y'all do you. I know, like, in Mindless Behavior, I had a phase with almost every single one of them. It wasn't even like I've always only liked Princeton. No. I was like, yes, okay, you. Another thing that he goes on to say is that they were kind of all treated like robots, and they had set schedules that they had to follow. They had these big old binders that just had like, okay, you're doing this here, you're doing that here, you're doing that here. He was talking about they were basically running on empty. They had like 4 hours of sleep each night, if that. And I'm just like, dang, that really does make sense, because they would do meet and greets before the concert, a concert, meet and greets after the concert, and then they gotta go to sleep when they get back to the hotel, and then they gotta wake up at 6 a.m. to do it, or maybe 4 a.m. to do an interview, and they gotta go work out, and they gotta go record. And I'm like, dang, y'all was kids, you know? And I'm over here like, it really puts in perspective, because I was so like, oh my god, Mindless Behavior, da-da-da. But I didn't really think about how much they had to go through while I was over here getting the illusion that they were given. You know what I'm trying to say? Now, in terms of, I know I feel like I'm really jumping around, y'all, but I'm literally going in the order of the interview, y'all. So if I'm jumping around, the interview is jumping around. But basically, he goes on to also talk about how, you know, who was the favorite? Was there any kind of like cliques? Chill. Was there any type of cliques? And we find out that there was a point where him and Ray and Rock Royal, they had their own tour bus with just their bodyguard and like a manager or whatever. Meanwhile, Princeton and Prodigy were sharing a tour bus with the dancers, the crew, like everybody, and I was just like, that's disrespectful. And in all those Wattpad stories here, we were thinking that it was just the 4 of them inside of their own a tour bus. Meanwhile, they had them separated and they were just doing favoritism stuff, and I was just like, dang, that's kind of sad. I thought that y'all all shared just one. It was just the 4 of y'all plus maybe a manager or plus maybe a bodyguard or something. I was like, I could have swore I remember watching an interview where it was like that, but I don't know. And as far, now that we're kind of getting close to the end of the video, because we're 9 minutes in and I said I wanted this to be short, as far as there being a reunion, we kind of are able to see that Princeton on Twitter, he's like, no thank you, no ma'am, no turkey and ham. Rock Royal, he's still got a couple more years locked up, kind of a lot of years. But Ray and Prodigy, they seem like they wouldn't mind rekindling and just kind of doing something real quick. Obviously nothing long, nothing permanent, but they seem to be a little bit okay and open to the suggestion. So be on the lookout for that. And then towards the end of the interview, he also talks about the new members, EJ and I can't remember the other one's name. I'm so sorry. Once it wasn't the original 4, I kind of just let it go. I said, oh, I can't. No thank you. And he kind of said that too. He said it got to a point where as soon as it was no longer the original 4, it was no longer Mindless Behavior, which I say is 100% true. It's, you know, if you don't have Rock, if you don't have Ray, if you don't have Princeton, if you don't have Prodigy, it's no longer the original Mindless Behavior, and I don't think I want any parts of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all that was said inside of the interview part 1. Thank you guys for coming and watching this video and getting a quick little synopsis of everything that was said. And maybe if you guys comment, not maybe, go ahead and comment down below if you want me to do a little synopsis on part 2. I also seen an interview with Prodigy, and hopefully we gonna get one from Princeton, and maybe we can Zoom one with Rock Royal. I think he wants to go by Santo. Maybe we can Zoom one with Santo. That's what it was. I kept trying to remember, how can I remember Rock Royal's new name, because he doesn't want to be called Rock Royal anymore. I was like, what is it? I came up with something in my head. It was Santo because of all my block. But anyways, yes, let me know if you guys want another part to this, if you want to know more about mindless behavior. I can do a little bit more in-depth research, because this one was a little bit just kind of, just kind of thrown out there. But if you want, I can go way more in depth. I can try to get more information. I can get more videos in here and make this thing, you know, popping, because that's, you know, that was our childhood. But anyways, I keep clapping, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys later, and peace out. Much love, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe also.